Hello, folks. This is Omar Hosea, servant, saying good morning. Good morning. I want to make another video about the Samsung Note 7 Edge. What I found out was this. Now, I'm going to just give you a little, what they call, quote unquote, conspiracy theory. I like to call it a matter of convenience, too. Ponder this. For those of us who like Note 4s only, have you found it convenient that after they made the Note 5, they stopped making Note 4s? And then when we complained about expanded memory and that obviously the applications update every 2, 3, 4 days. So you can imagine if you had your phone for 2 months or a month, you ain't got no memory. You have to delete stuff. That means you don't have no control over your device. Um, that didn't make sense to make a note with no expandable memory. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to make any phone without expandable memory. It doesn't make sense. But since Apple's been getting away with it since they was born, with the iPhones, the iPads, and the iNanos, not giving you expandable memory. But when you think about the iPhone or the iPad and all that, they wasn't made for phones. They were made for music. And when you put 30,000 songs or a million songs in a 64 gig iPad or iPhone, like, well, nobody gonna listen to all that music. And so when they turned the music box into a cell phone box, because that's all the iPhone is really, is a music box. But then they added they bought some developers and had somebody cleverly come up with putting applications to do some little business with on your iPhone slash iPad, or I mean iNano. Think about that. You say, well, why are you talking about the iPhone? This is about the Note 7. Because it wasn't until after the Steve Jobs thing, or Jobs, whatever they call him, and the Apple argument between them and Android and them and Samsung, that the Note 5 became an Apple device. No expandable memory. Even with the Galaxy 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, and the Galaxy S4 and S5 regular phones, all up to the S4, they had memory expandables. But now, no, even I think the S5 Sport has memory expandable too. But all of a sudden, the Note 5 has no expandable memory. Then the Galaxy S6, then the S6 Edge, no expandable memory. Was that a deal with Apple so they can catch up or something? Now you look at the Galaxy 7S, smaller screen, update from the Galaxy 6S Edge, obviously. It's not a Note. Why are Samsung trying to keep pushing Note people into this to the regular Galaxy Edge garbage? It's garbage. Yeah, it's fun to play with. Once again, it's fun to take pictures and listen to music and all that. But a lot of us, believe it or not, majority of us who use Note use it for business and for developing something or creating something. The Note family is for people who create stuff like businesses, art, and things of that nature, where we can scribble and things like that and make notes. But for some reason, Samsung wants to keep pushing you into this Galaxy S7. They said, well, you can go to the Note 5. Well, guess what? from the time you launched Note 5 until you launched Note 7, you couldn't went back and took something out and add expendable memory to Note 5 so it could sell. So you got all of them sitting in your stores somewhere. And this is what I believe they did. Matter of fact, I'm sure this is what they did. Apple's developers and everybody, because they friends, Samsung and Apple, they friends and all that. They said, hey man, our sales is down, our investors, and it ain't cool for you to monopolize the cell phone industry. Y'all know that's bad business, which is I don't know how. You sell your product, it's in demand and supply. If you don't, you fall to the wayside. But since Apple is a power broker, Samsung got to play ball a little bit. The Note 4 was the best phone, the best Note family that came out. Actually, they got the Note 7 is a very, very good phone. Only thing I don't like about the Note 7 is the curves. When you take a picture, the curve cuts out the total picture out. That's another issue. That's the only thing I don't like about the Note 7 is if you take a photo, like if I take a photo right now, it doesn't get the whole screen picture because the curve is taking it. The curve is taking the photo out. So you lose a couple millimeters. So this is really a video about how to keep your Note 7 because you really get burnt. I'm just giving you a little history real quick. Because I had the first Note, Note 3, Note 4, and I refused to get the Note 5. And so I stayed with the Note 4 until they came out with a waterproof version of the Note, which is the Note 7. That's it. At least for this guy here. So it was convenient that nobody wanted the Note 5 for real. Any real businessman who wants to expand their memory and have control of what they're having, because you don't want to keep buying a phone every time you run out of memory. Or you don't have to keep deleting stuff every time you run out of memory because the apps keep updating and all this other stuff. And because I don't know if y'all noticed, as the years go by, the apps get bigger, 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 bigger when you download them. When you initial download them, then you get the cache, this, that, in between them. You know what I mean? Do you get this? Do you get the updates? By that time, you got to delete stuff. Especially if you, like me, don't carry laptops and computers and all that stuff. So I guess they're going to make you go buy something else. No. The Note 5 was a bust. As a matter of fact, it was more of a bust for them than the Note 7. So all of us, conveniently, Samsung has no more Note 4s. T-Mobile has no Note 4s. No carrier has Note 4s. Why? Because they say they stopped producing them. Why? That was the hottest selling phone y'all had, that Samsung had. But you notice Apple doesn't come into play. So now, isn't it kind of coincidence that the new Apple 7 phone looks like the Note 5? Once again, no expandable memory. How did Samsung become no expandable memory like Apple become no expandable memory? The only reason why people left Apple to go to Android and Samsung, especially people that I know and people that I talk to, is for the expandable memory. In fact, that's why I didn't deal with Apple. Because I'm not going to pay you $100, $200 for extra 5, 6 gigs for every device. That's theft. That's espionage of people's business. And I didn't want to do with Apple. So Note 5 was like an Apple to me. Anything without expandable memory is an Apple device. I don't care if it says Android, Samsung, it's still Apple. Because they're the ones that pioneered the dumbass shit. Now, This is how you keep your Note 7. All right, because I watched everybody, people. I've been going around watching people how long they've been having their other phones, and some people had the same phone for 4 or 5 years. It's the same thing with this Note 7. Okay, one. This is in order to keep your Note 7. This is what you have to do. This is what you must do to keep your Note 7 without putting raggedy apps on it. Talking about we can keep your phone cool. Don't mess with them apps. Those are hacker apps and they'll mess your phone up even more. One, if possible, wherever possible, turn your Note 7 device off and then put the charger in and let it charge to the desired amount. It will not get hot, it will not burn up, none of that. It won't. Option 2, you can leave it on, charge it, but go into your applications and make sure you have no running apps in the background. Make sure you go to your file button, and where it says we get all the open apps up, and you roll it with your thumb, and it shows Facebook, Google, blah blah blah, this. Push that clear button, clear all, and that way it doesn't run in the background while it's charging while it's on. Okay, that's option 2. Now, option 1 and 2 is really basic. Now, 3 is not an option. 3 is mandatory that you don't do this. Mandatory. If you want to keep your Note 7, even after they say they're not going to fix it or return it, all right, this is where you're going to be able to keep your Note 7. Do not, I repeat, do not play video games, and card games while charging. Okay? Do not, I repeat, do not play video games or any games. Use your phone while charging. Don't. Don't take pictures. Don't take videos while it's charging. Make sure you have at least 75% power saved in your battery. Well, I'm sorry. At least half charge. I mean, if you're that bored, you got to do something, or you got to get some work done, whatever. Do not charge it. Do not use it below, 50% in charge at the same time. Do not. 4, touch your screen like this. Your common sense will tell you, you know what, I need to turn my phone off, shut it down, restart it. You have to go through these things if you want to keep your Note 7 Edge. Now here's the other part I didn't mention before I close this out. Samsung and some of your other espionage identity thieves. Reason why I tell a lot of y'all people don't give up your Note 7 for 3 reasons. 1, your card pay information. You can't delete it out. Your locations, your contacts, all that. So Samsung is taking your way you pay and buy things with your phone, and they're creating a base with that, and they get paid for that by you turning in your phones. So don't get burnt by giving them your whereabouts and your profile, and then they're making programs, apps around your profile, and charging you for applications to use some shit they didn't collect it from all their customers for free. That's their hustle. Don't give your phone back. 2, Your iris scan is a barometric right here. So once you've put your iris scan in this phone, you cannot delete it. So now, for the thousands of people who used this phone for their iris scan and was told that the phone's going to blow up and you can't get on the airport, that created a fear or phobia. And so now you're not thinking that your payment, your Samsung Pay, your iris scan, and your other information, your locations and stuff, is still in this phone, even if you put fresh factory reset. These are facts. I've been in Silicon Valley in California. They will tell you the same thing. You cannot delete nothing off the hard drive in your phone unless you actually literally crush it and submerge it, burn it, whatever the case may be. That's the only way it becomes non-useful. So I'm sharing with you, Samsung people and my fellow Americans. Don't let these corporations force you into a box, into a situation, and then give you something that you didn't ask for. Because they kept trying to tell me, well, we'll get you into LG. No, it's not a no. Or we'll get you into this. It's not a no. We'll get you in the Galaxy S7. It's not a no. We'll get you in the Galaxy S6. It's not a no. Or we'll put you in the Note 5. No expandable memory. What you gonna do now? So T-Mobile, for me, they told me, well, we'll just wipe your bill clean. Well, how you gonna wipe my bill clean? I'm out of a note. They don't give a damn. They won't even go look for Note 4s or anything with expandable memories. Think about it. You make a wonderful phone, Note 7 Edge, expandable memory, waterproof. It gets no better than that. But because, as you know, some people abuse their phones, now we all got to give our phones in. Check that out. All right. Then they say, well, we'll just wipe your bill. We'll just fully refund your money. Well, that's that. You can't fully refund my money because you got my iris scanner in there. You got my copy of my biometric eye in there. You got my pay account, Samsung Pay account in there. You got my profile in there. You got my contacts. So even if you give me my money back, it doesn't pay for the money that you're going to make off my iris scan and all those things that you can sell to the federal government and different private corporations to track and monitor the citizens that you manipulate with these devices. So $800 is not even enough. You would have to give us our money back for the value, plus another 1,000 for the money that you're gonna make off our profile and our contacts and all the things that we used when we used it. Don't sell yourself cheap, America. Don't do it. What else I want to share with y'all? Um, I think that's it. Keep your Note 7 edges. Do not turn them in unless you can get your Note 4 expandable memory. Because if you get your Note 5, you're going to be right back to square one looking for another phone. That's why they're pushing the iPhone 7 and the Note 5. Why? Because they one and the same. They're no different. Granted, one's Apple and one's Android operating system. But when it comes to the device, we ain't talking about the operating system. Clowntastic, folks. We're talking about the device. The Note 5 and the iPhone 7 are no different. They might look at a little different, better stick to the device, not their specs and all that. They're no different. Neither one you can expand memory. They're both waterproof and all this little fancy dancy stuff. They still do that. So until next time, this is Techie Talk with your brother Homer Hosea saying peace. Have a wonderful day. And like I said, if you want to keep your Note 7 Edge, follow these two must things. Charge with power off. If you have to charge when it's on, do not use it and charge at the same damn time. Okay? And my 2 Chainz voice for you young folks. Do charge off. Do not charge when using at the same time. Those 2 things right there. And you will be able to keep your Note 7. But if you're out and you have to do something, if you have to charge and use it, make sure your phone is no less than 30%. Do not charge your Note 7 Edge and use it at the same time at 2%, 1%, 5%, 12%, 15%, 20%. No, don't do that because the screen will get hot, the back will get hot, it'll mess with your antenna, and then it will explode. In fact, all cell phones get hot like that because I had a Motorola Photon that I don't know what happened with that, but that thing burnt my pockets and I had leather pads on. But that was a different issue. And also another reason why these phones get hot, when you put it in your pocket or whatever, make sure that your screen is off because when the screen is touched continuously, it's running and it keeps running, and so by nature it gets hot and you'll get burnt. So these is like I said, these are some safety precautions on how to keep your Note 7. And this thing with the FAA talking about you can't bring them on the planes and this and that, that's some bull crap. Somebody created that hysteria so they can sell those iPhones. It's just a selling pitch. It's just the way they use fear tactics to buy and sell stuff nowadays. So I just want to be quiet, let this go, and say I hope you have a good day. Mwah. Peace.